Hi everybody, Jody Mueller again. I've done a lot of research since the last YouTube video I've done, so I wanted to get people a little bit up to speed on what I'm working on. And don't really care if the legislators are seeing this, but they need to. So I like to think outside the box. Why is this happening? Why have I not seen my children? Of course, my kids have aged out if you followed my story. And they were given to an abuser that abducted them, coerced them, what have you. And I always thought, okay, no, it's because of his lies. It's because of his perjury in the courtroom. Well, one, the family court is not a real court. It's an administrative courtroom, what have you, or just a building with walls, okay, with men and women dressed up in robes. It's fraud. The best thing you can do is probably not go. And unless you know what to say in front of these courts, but they'll bring you into their fraud. Okay, the statutes and codes are only supposed to be used for corporate or, business, not for lawful, living human beings, okay? So, anyway, I've learned about that a little bit, and also, since I try to think outside the box, how can I get my family, my friends, maybe the school, and I shouldn't have to care if I'm vindicated, but I want to be. All right, that's just me. I want the governor, the legislators, all of them to know that I never once abused my children. Not once. I never had a CPS case. None. My ex, who, I thought committed perjury, I believed committed perjury. Actually, it isn't perjury when you go into a fraud court or a court of equity or whatever they want to call it, okay? They're basically lying in a building. They're just lying about you in front of these fraudulent entities that are claiming to be judges, okay? So you can't even get them on perjury because you're not even in a real court. So the only place to, I guess, go to a law court is criminal court or common law court, if you can find one. So anyway, I want to vindicate myself, whether I want to, people think I should have to or not, I'm going to. So I wrote to the Iowa Department of Human Services and acted like I believed there was a CPS case, which I knew there wasn't, but it's really the only way you can do this that I've seen. So I went into dhsiowa.gov, dhs.iowa.gov, and in there's an appeal decision area, and you can find an appeals form. So my kids have aged out. There's nothing I can do about it at this point other than going and filing some lawsuits, which I will do. But I wanted to get that form. I pulled that form off and I filled it out. On that form, you can check elderly abuse, child support, neglect, abuse, whatever. And, it might be different in your state. But anyway, I checked the boxes I wanted to check, and I got a letter back, like, within 2 weeks, really. And I want to read this so that the public knows what I'm stating is true. All right? So here it says on appeal, and they give some number, and this is just a number that they give in case there is going to be an appeal. And here it says, Dear Miss Mueller, again, that's a title also. A title, not good. Your name in all caps, not good. So look that up. That's all legal. But regardless, I'll read it how they sent it to me. Dear Miss Mueller, you filed an appeal on January 14th, 2019 regarding child support and child abuse. The child support issue is being dealt with in a separate appeal. Now this, just, on a side note, my ex was not paying child support. He was supposed to pay child support, but hardly ever did, and he filed a forged document stating he makes $29,000 a year as an international pilot. So that's what that was about. Okay, here we go. Our office can only grant a hearing, meaning an appeal hearing, when a person named in a child abuse report as having abused a child appeals that decision. We checked with the Child Abuse Registry in Iowa. You are not a person named in a child abuse report as having abused a child, so your name does not appear on the child abuse registry in Iowa. Based on the Code of Iowa 235A, blah, 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 you are not considered to be an aggrieved person, so your request for a hearing must be denied. And then they give some statutes, whatever. And then it gives a number to call if you have any questions. So I did. I called the number and asked Rhonda Johnson, then why don't I see my children? If I have no abuse charges against me, why didn't I see my kids? And I further explained to her about the birth certificates and all that, and she was sitting there in shock. You know, some of these people I'm sure know about it, and some probably don't. So whether she did or not, she got a little lesson. They carbon copied people at AAC, CVS, or SVS. I'm not sure what that is, but I assume that's the appeal decision place. DHS, CSA. Again, don't know who that is, but it's got a name. The Attorney General Appeals Mailbox, and the Attorney General Mary Wickman. So I'm going to try to find them next also about this. So I just thought I would let people know about that, and I hope that everyone does the same thing, and, you know, at least you can send it out to other people that don't believe you. You're like, feel like you're hitting your head against the wall. You're like, why is nobody believing that I never abused these children? And I'm going to go a step further and send it to legislators. I'm going to send it to the governor of Iowa. I'm going to send it to the school that kept me from my children, and the school counselor, the school dean, the counselor that counseled my children that were mentally abused by my ex, that sent me a cease and desist through her lawyer, and all these people who really believed I abused my children. Oh, and the guardian ad litem. Yeah, they're going to get this too. So, anyway, I hope that helps. I hope some other people do this. I'm really thinking about, I probably will. I'll send a copy of this to the president as well. And that's that. So, I hope some people follow and do similar things. Think outside the box, you know, and use their documents against them. Okay? Thanks very much. Take care. Hang in there. And if you're not already, join my group, Parental Alienation Awareness Iowa. And I'm putting more information on the straw man, the birth certificate, the deceit, how to revoke deceived consent. And I'm also doing that in Iowa Judicial Misconduct and some other groups that I have. I'm also sending them to distribution lists that I already have. So legislators do not know how many are on that list, but it's quite lengthy on my distribution list. So I've sent out hundreds and hundreds of letters already, and I'm preparing leaflets that are going to be going out as well. So take care, hang in there, and do your research. Bye.